And these players are both ready. And we got 3, 2, 1, and
Bills!
pills.
As we're
Yeah.
out the gates there, Adelito out first, and Watchies will be entering the foray quite soon. The name of the game is going to be quick, consistent combos, trying to play as quickly and as snappy as possible, and both these players are excellent in just doing that.
And you're really going to see the creativity of players come out during these semifinal levels because the pills are locked up really tight. So you want to make sure, as Swung said, that your combos are efficient as possible, not a ton of drop time. And maybe you can do those big brain, take out a lot of viruses, possibly break the game clears when you're at it. Now, taking a look at Watch T's board, there is quite a bit of red and yellow here at the top of the board to take care of. Let's hope for a small double red blitz for Watch T's.
Oh, perfect opportunity. That 7th and 8th column on Watchies' side was just chock full of reds, and that double red came in at the just opportune time to diversify the top line of Watchies' board. 19 to 16, Adelio's a slight advantage as far as virus count, but Watchies is out the gates about 3 seconds behind.
Yeah, absolutely. And Adelito's play, really nice. Not much to say about it here because the setup of the formation of the viruses right now, there's no need to really do a lot of big cascading combos. Notice he's probably going to form something nice and clean with the bottom corner. He's going to create a sideways T. Oh my gosh, a double red would be amazing for Adelito right now. Oh, commentator's
Oh, look at
blessing.
that. Huge explosion.
Oh,
That's destroyed a ton of viruses, and he is out of 138. That was some wow. Wow. These players, they take our breath away.
yeah, absolutely. And yeah, watch these with 6 viruses left, some of them doubled up, and this little blue yellow mini blitz, pretty good for that. Going to take some drop time as Adelito digging into this level 11. Again, a lot of yellow on top of the board. Curious to see how those yellows on the left hand side come off of the board. We got a horizontal, leaving some garbage that's not necessarily opportune for the rows below, but we'll see as Watchma is now in 11 as well. Ooh,
Yeah,
hell
Adelito had
yeah.
ooh, okay. But yeah, Adelito had just no real use for reds. He had to excavate a bit down to expose the reds, and now is in the same situation with the lack of blues, although drilling that down is going to expose a little bit more color diversity on the top line of Adelito. I do like that sweet tea. It's going to expose a bunch off the board, and looking for a good double blue to get that short stack over in that center well column. 21 to 32, and Watchies really in dire need of just getting those blues and reds removed on the top line to get some color diversity of his own.
Yeah, exactly. It's really frustrating when not only are you not getting the color you need, the pills that you're getting are almost exactly the same. You cannot really make much headway on layers below as well. But a couple of well placed blue reds helping Wash Teas move this board forward. 25 viruses, good horizontal there. But yeah, Adelito really roaring through this level. Just needs a lot of reds, and so far they are arriving. Think he's going to probably be trying to take those reds out in row 4 horizontally, but we shall see.
That's
The blue
exactly what he's
helping.
signaling. Yeah, that's exactly what it is. Two for the price of one, trying to minimize the amount of reds used. And Adelaide's going to be out of level 11 at a 332 going into level 12. Watch T's, meanwhile, getting some really fantastic combos. A drop combo into that to destroy most of the board is Watch T's. And as we take a look over Adelito is playing that clean game. As we see, the players get deeper into the levels with their runs. It's going to be more viruses densely packed at the top of their board, and you're going to see some quicker clears.
And one of the things that you'll see from elite players like Adelito and like Watch Tees is they'll put down a pillow and you'll say to yourself, wait a second, that's not the color, that's not matching the color that's there. But they are setting up for possibly building a horizontal and dropping that garbage down on top of the next row. So board vision, very important in these level blocks. Watch Tees into level 12.
Oh,
Beautiful.
watch that tee right there. Amazing
That
from
is
Watch Tees.
one of the sweetest of teas. Very lovely. Not, we would expect nothing less from someone whose name is Watch Teas.
Yeah, absolutely. That was really excellent. There was only two ways about it, and Watchie's had to manufacture a bit of an artificial sweetened tea of his own to make that happen. But as you take a look, he's really devoured the middle portion of the board. Although there is a chasm in his sixth and seventh column here that may pose disastrous, but is very chock full of doubles and kind of aspired column in Watch Cheese's board. Just a bunch of viruses in that center well. He may have to attack that vertically.
Hmm. And meanwhile, Adelito with a very nice, clean endgame, very even in terms of the height of everything. Curious to see how the end comes down. It looks like setting up for that, yeah, horizontal red into a horizontal yellow. Taking out the yellow in column two is going to set him up for another horizontal, and good prioritization there at the end, micro adjustment to be out of 12 at about a 526.
526 for Adelito, and watch he's looking to just drill everything down. The way that the board developed was just allowing for him to he's going to have to drill it down, which does eat a little bit of time with the drops, but that's how Watchies is able to advance the board and keep it as efficient as possible. 12 viruses remain in level 12 for Watch Tees, who is now getting a little bit of a rhythm as he's looking for some reds to destroy the rest of their board. Meanwhile, take a look over at Adelito's side. Adelito with some interesting sort of positioning on the board of Adelito. I think he's going to try and turn that into something useful or something strategic, but it's just not coming in a way that we would normally see out of an Adelito board here. Just interesting developing on the boards here, but he's turned into something useful now.
Hmm. A lot of yellow there for Adelito, kind of frustrating. Meanwhile, Watch Tees at the end game is going to try to be clearing out, I think, to get the reds horizontally at the bottom of the board, is going to have to clear out those blues in column five to make that happen. But now free and clear, open, out at a 632. But as Adelito continues to storm through this board with a beautiful T down the center of the board, there is a giant lead for him at the moment. About 36 viruses, 34. It's big.
Big gap in the viruses between Adelito and Watch Tees here. Is Adelito kind of maneuvering the pills around, just not the pills he's looking for. And here comes a yellow blue rush for Adelito, and he has a predominantly red yellow top line here. Has since passed an eclipse to that blue yellow rush. Now we take a look over at Watch Tees' side, and Watch Tees fixing for some sweet tea, perhaps with that red to advance the board a little bit more of his own here. 38 to 8 as Adelito is now in a single digit portion of his board.
Great drop sideways tee from Watch Tees there, but it is a little bit, it's all wrapped up because Adelito has finished in 7 minutes and 30 seconds. Whew, what a time for this level block.
Excellent time. Players are they're trying to claw away at a sub 8, and if you see anything in the sevens or even in the sixes, which is a rare feat to get with this level block, anything in those times is absolutely excellent. And Adelito kicking off this semifinal Sunday of the Gold Championship bracket off to a very great start.
Hmm. And luckily, if you had tuned in yesterday and the day before, you might have seen that level eight was giving players quite a hard time. No level eights here. So hopefully, we won't see RNG drag these players too hard like they did with all of those level eights. Ooh, shudder.
Yeah, that was quite the phenomenon over there. It was really a whole bunch of them. It was really, it was rough going. But as we say, rough going here, we're going to get back and shake those nerves off and get into game two. Adelito out the gates first, looking to drop everything down. Relatively straightforward board, keeping everything vertical, and Watch T's doing the same thing.
Hmm. And if you take a look at Adelito's column two, boom, boom, that garbage fell perfectly to go down onto the red there. So keeps building plans as other plans are being executed. And that's exactly what you need to do in this level block to, advance in this championship. Now, I think Watch Tease is going to run into a little bit of trouble. Look at how many columns have red on the top, Swang.
Man, and Watch Tease has been being very, very clever with these setups that he's had. He's had L's and T's and multiple T's and drop T's and all the T's you can possibly think of. T Emporium on his side, but now has been left with a bunch of reds, as you say. Meanwhile, take a look at Adelito. Adelito also has a bunch of reds and yellows here. No real need for the blues, although Adelito has excavated a bit and exposed those blues at the very bottom here, trying to maneuver the pills. But Watch Tease with that time advantage and virus advantage, 11 to 15.
Yeah, I'm really curious. Adelito keeps ignoring that column 3, the red at the top. And, he did have a double red. He could have taken a little bit of a drill down, chose not to. And, just wondering why he might have done that. But take a look, fat log at the bottom of the board for
Ooh.
Adelito, and very straightforward path to the finish of the board. A horizontal on this blue in column or row 4 rather, and that'll drop down on the yellow and then another horizontal at the bottom. So in very good shape. And he was saving that red at the top to just take out with double reds. He knew they would be coming out at a 153.
The order of operations that Adelito had for that endgame was he couldn't have done any other way, otherwise it would have had some conflicting plans with the setup. So very excellent heads up play to make sure that the pills were kept under composure and cleared in the correct order. And that's what Adelito did to get out of that level as fast as he could here. Watch T's entering his level 11 at about a 10, I'm sorry, excuse me, a 209 going into it, and looking for some strategic yellows to drop to advance the board is Watch T's, but Adelito in the same position. Yellow is going to be strategic for both of these players.
Yeah, Adelito, it looked like he had a little bit of a hiccup there at the beginning of the board, but it's pretty clean now for advancing those plans that I've been talking about. And yeah, a red horizontal would be great for him right now. This red yellow coming in handy. And also would be looking for, ooh, double blue would be nice. Drops down into a
Ooh.
triple of verticals. Beautiful work from Adelito, 25 to 34. Advantage Adelito.
Wow, yeah, that was excellent. He at this level of play, sometimes you blink and you miss, and oftentimes you'll see these players make these decisions and make you just kind of scratch your head. And what was that I missed over there, Savage?
Oh, yeah, it was a drop into a horizontal that I didn't quite, see coming, so that was really nice from Adelito. And meanwhile, Watch Cheese, who's only about a dozen viruses behind, a really tightly packed board there in the center. Curious to see whether, yeah, he's able to get those yellows off. Decides to take all of the blue that he had been building up. So, there we go, drops down, clears that horizontal.
Yeah, I was really hoping for that double yellow. It just came a little bit too late. So Watch he's had to pivot a bit to make sure that he was able to advance the board here. But as we take a look and glancing over on Adelito's side, down to his final two viruses, Watch T's looking to keep everything, trying to keep everything going with the momentum. But as we say that, we take a look over Adelito's entering his level 12 at about 355. No, he doesn't take that immediate horizontal, but goes ahead and keeps that top line diverse. Is Adelito.
Yeah, and I get that. I mean, there was the horizontal possibility with the Reds up top. Now, everyone who's heard my commentary knows I'm a sucker for the instant horizontal, and we know that Swang loves them. So it's a little bit of a disappointment to us, but in the long run, it's probably, I'll just go out on a limb and guess it's probably going to be okay for Adelito here, as Watch Cheese just needs one more blue to be out at a 422. Nice clean end game.
Yeah, most definitely. I think Adelito even hesitated a little bit, but it was a very calculated, sort of methodical approach that he did rather than snapping it down and going with the first approach there. So, yeah, I'm going to say on a whim that, yes, that was probably the best play going there. But if we take a look over Adelito's board, he's got a bunch of blues in his top line. And that's going to be, I think, a big pain point if he's not able to get those blues quickly enough.
Yeah, and they're kind of spired up there too, so that could be a little bit difficult. But so far, well, Adelito getting red and yellow instead when that's what he kind of needed to sort of avoid making those plans. But let's see. So Washti is still keeping about a dozen virus deficit, so not backing up too much. Beautiful slide to get those
Yeah.
yellows horizontally down later. Yellow's not going to be a pain point for him because there's not that many yellows left, so he's going to be able to use it at his leisure. But yeah, just 8 viruses down now, and things are showing up. Nice tuck for him to keep that board advancing.
Yeah, Watchies is gonna have to play these blue strategic blue pills. Halves are not coming in the way here, so those blues. He has signaled to go ahead and clear those blues out at the second row horizontally, trying to keep everything as minimized as possible with as efficient of a play as possible. And as we see that, Watchies down to his final 9 viruses. But if we glance over again, Adelito out of 550, who's had a pretty excellent he's been holding on to this lead and has been unrelenting in giving any sort of advantage over to Watch T's. 6 viruses remain on Watch T's side, and as we take a look, I'll pass the mic back over to you, Savage.
Yeah, Washington's had a little bit of an issue where some blue dropped in a way that like he might have been able to get the whole blue formation off, but kind of wrecked that plan. But it doesn't really matter. He's out at a 6-16, and the lead has increased a little bit, as it might tend to do. You know, an end game in these levels is a little bit slower than the beginning. You're able to rip a lot of viruses off of the board at the beginning, and that's exactly what Adelito has done, but it could slow down in short order because Adelito needs all these reds. Well, never mind. Look at okay, you know, just everything I say is obsolete 10 seconds later.
This that seems to be the nature of these games. It's like you're blinking and missing. It's like, oh man, we say something and we're proven wrong yet again, and it's so cool seeing that in live action. It's also it's fun to see it and trying to see what the players are actually formulating in their heads with their plays here. But Adelito down to his final 11 viruses looks to me like he's probably going to have a bunch of blue horizontal clears as he's not getting any sort of blue virus halves. I'm curious to see how the order is. I think it's going to go top down approach for Adelito. And no, he got the double blue, so he's able to advance it as he needs to. And take a look over at Watch T's. This might be an Adelito game, I think.
Oh, I would say we'd have to have a level 8 style disaster in order for that not to happen.
Yeah.
Out at a 7:38, again, very consistent, under 8 minutes, awesome time there. And, watch teas with about 22 viruses left to go. If you take a look at how this level is structured at its end game, this was going to be really difficult, even if Adelito hadn't won by now for Watchmen to get forward, because look at all that red yellow at the bottom of that board.
Mm. Man, Adelito was saying earlier in chat he was hoping for some some deciders or taking it there, but Adelito two up against Watch Tees, who is going to shake it off, uh, get their composure back, and he's going to go ahead and get ripping and ready for this game 3. And we've got readies from both these players here. Savage is counting in for game 3 with a 3,
Three,
2,
two,
1,
one,
and
pill.
pills.
Now, I can speak from experience. Watch Tees is no stranger to the reverse sweep. He did it to me in the finals last year, so I know that he's capable of doing it. So let's see how this is going. Really good. I love the way the board is shaped for Watch Tees right now. Like really flat top line, ability to clear out quite a bit of stuff at the same time. Unfortunately, it is all needing red. Oh, get that cross. Yeah.
Ooh, very cool work there. And I was looking as curious as to how Adelito's board is developing. He's got yellow in that fourth column and screaming to possibly be cleared out with some like a horizontal clear into it. I'm not sure how it'll manifest. And as I say that, he just drops everything down. There we go. Oh, so incredible.
Yeah. Oh, take a look at all this yellow for Adelito. I think there's going to be some kind of platform building going on, and it's not going to be too difficult for these yellows there. Drops down the center of the board. Oh, I'm surprised he didn't use that double yellow in the center to try to build that sweet tea. But on the other hand, there are yellows doubled up on the bottom that undoubtedly he'll want to take horizontally. But 13-17, very close game so far, closer than the other two in 10.
Yeah, very excellently done. These players are just absolutely captivating us with the big brain plays that they are having, and as we see that here, I think we're going to go ahead and here comes a couple more reds for Watch T's side, but the render the red, he's going to need a lot of reds in order to clear out the most of his board, just reds upon reds upon reds. Ooh, that blue yellow. I don't think that's where Watch T's want to place that in the third and fourth column.
Oh, yeah, I don't think so either, and the way that the possible horizontal setups are gonna go is not making it easy to get out to that blue at the bottom of the board. Meanwhile, oh my gosh, Adelito cascaded down and took out every single virus. Oh, so good.
That's when I said, "Save some for the rest of us, buddy."
I know,
That's so
exactly.
great. Anyways, you take a look over here. There you go. Watchies has exposed that bottom blue virus at the portion there. Everything's just gonna be very straightforward vertical approach, assuming that the blues come on Watch's side. And there you go, out of 228 into level 11.
Only about a 10 virus deficit for Wash Teas. But as I said, that Adelito had a beautiful combo where he ripped quite a few viruses off the board just by some cascading horizontals. Very nicely done. And a yellow horizontal on the way to drop on top of some blues. So as soon as that yellow shows up, we're going to see some magic happen.
And
Yeah,
here it
he's going to
comes.
take it.
Wow, there you go. Yep, he was looking for some sort of a yellow, like a double yellow, ideally, but he had to just make it happen as he had everything set up. He couldn't wait any longer for that combo to take place.
Yeah, and that garbage is okay. Take a look at this double yellow. Wonder if he's going to go horizontal, and Adelaide does, in fact, do that. Has a lot of yellow on this board still, but man, we know that he's going to know what to do with it. Meanwhile, Washma, about 13 viruses back, has some low drop combos available to him. Just took one on the left hand side of the board, good horizontal. A drill play down the left hand side of the board, setting up for a diverse column 1 and 2, not if he chooses to drop with a blue red, it's not going to be two blues in columns 1 and 2, which is always tough. So this board should move quickly in this end game. But speaking of end game, Swan, what do we got here for Adelito?
He's gonna go with that blue horizontal, and in the next pillbox, he could have had a blue logging out, but obviously, definitely did not want to wait to be swaggy like that, as this is a championship semifinals for these players here. But we take a look over at Watch T's side. Watch T's down to the final portion of the board. Two more viruses remain on Watch T's. Watch T's gained a little bit of traction going out of that level 10 into level 11, now into level 12 with that double red here. 416 for Watch T's, and he's about 14 viruses behind Adelito here. He has closed the gap a little bit.
Yeah, so it was about 10 viruses or 12 going into level 11, and then it opened up quite a bit, but now it seems to be narrowing back down. You're exactly right, Swang. Uh, a speedrunner's dream for Watchma, as long as the dream also includes lots of blue and yellow.
Ooh, yeah, I see. Okay, here, look at this combo right there. Double for
Hmm.
split vertical over on Watch T's side. You don't normally see that with a combo like that, but that's really cool to see because it's not as compact. It's kind of spaced across the entirety of the board. But look over
Yeah.
at Adelito's side. He's got some combos ready to fire off here. He's going to go ahead and drill it all down, keep it as efficient as possible. I do like the extra drill to keep that yellow horizontal. 12 to 31, these players here. Advantage Adelito.
And because that bottom row is beautiful, L, yeah, for Adelito. The bottom row is quite empty, so he's going to be really looking for the horizontals here. Going to drop down to get the blue horizontal at the end, and as soon as he gets one yellow, which he does, out at a 534 is Adelito, and now watch my 26 viruses back.
26 viruses to go, and watch he's just not able to get everything with the same momentum as he would like here. Just everything's just a little bit slow with the combos over on Watch T's side, but that's just how the board development came in. Oh, look at this fat log on Watch T's side. Let's
Hmm,
go.
fat log. And a great combo from Adelito to keep this board moving in the center. He would really love to see a double yellow, I think, coming through, but he's got the opportunity to manufacture it if he gets a red yellow. Oh, double yellow just showing up a little bit late, but there is that red
Oh,
yellow
look
to
at this double
drop.
blue for Adley. Oh, he's
Oh,
gonna. It was. I know what he was trying to do, and his combo actually kind of broke that. But man, It's still cool. I think it might have broken the game if it happened the way that it did.
oof. Yeah,
Wow.
don't want that to happen. And let's see. Watch tease down to the last virus here on 12 out of a 640. And it's just so hard when you look over at your opponent and your opponent's at Alito and you see the lead. must be very frustrating, but we know that Watchma and excuse me, Watch Tees is going to be just trying to plow through this level as much as possible. Would curious and would love to see the horizontal blue happen. Didn't happen in the way that I thought, but it's looking a good start for Watch Tees here. But I believe this is Adelito's game, set, and match.
Yeah, unless something catastrophic happens on Adelito's side, it's 3 to 42. This is the biggest lead we've seen here in Adelito exposing those Reds. I was wow, just blinking and missing. He's got there, and Adelito out with sub 730s, 3 consecutive games in a row. That is a tough thing to do, especially with this level block. Holy mackerel!
Yeah, very, very consistent and excellent.